All right, so we're gonna get started with just a little bit of bounce. So just start to bounce your body and consider this bouncing to just be that sort of check-in. Notice how your body's feeling. Let it kind of get a little wiggle jiggle. Let all the bouncy parts bounce and just notice your breath for a moment. And then if it feels good to bounce and twist, you're gonna start to add a little bit of a twist. And then if it feels good, we're going to go into that slightly wider stance with the pendulum swing of the arms, but you're still going to try to keep that bouncing if bouncing will be available. So widen your stance and then pendulum swing open nice and wide when you come through center, and then one goes up and one goes behind. Go for one more time through or even yourself out. And then bring it in with low arms. We're going to go a little side bend like you're reaching towards your knee, a little side bend like you're reaching towards your knee. Hands are going to come to the hip points, and you're just going to do a little 45-degree or like halfway over. So you just get that feeling of that deadlift maneuver, and then release your hands, a little side bend, a little side bend. Hands come right to make a little shelf. So you just get that hip hinge maneuver and then come right back up. And then as you go along, we just want to kind of tune in and notice how do the backs of your legs feel as you do that little hip hinge. Keep a light sense of straightness into the legs because we just want to make that nice L shape or 7 shape with the body. Add that side bend just to get that added movement of the spine. So when we warm up, I often like to take us in all the directions of the spine. A little flexion and extension, a little lateral flexion, and a little bit of rotation. All right, now we're going to go into a light folded over position for a little standing cat-cow. So hands are going to find the knees, tops of the thighs, and then we get that flexion and extension of the spine. Inhale, we get that extension, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail. Exhale for flexion, rounding the back just as much as feels good. And we're just going to go for about 10. So just follow your breath for a few moments, just waking up your spine and your nervous system. All right, and now we're going to stay in that slight bent over position, but with a relatively flat or neutral spine, and arms are just going to free up in front of you, and you're going to start with just a little swing in and out of the arms. This particular movement that we do when we hang over and we let the arms swing, it's meant for anyone who's got that frozen shoulder, stiff, sticky shoulder. So we just want to kind of give the shoulder and the nervous system a little time to have a conversation and loosen up just a touch. And then every day just might be a little bit of different movement that we find. Hey, Melinda, this morning we need, I don't know if I caught you when we're getting ready. We need a TheraBand, we need a rolled up blanket or a towel, and then foam roller for part 2. All right, so if you've got your arms swinging now, maybe take them into some swinging circles. Circle in one direction. Circle the other way. One more circle around and then a good quality bend in your knees. Push strong into your feet. Rise up, grab your TheraBand, your longer resistance band, and we're going to take it into some chest pulls. So nice even stance. We want to keep the shoulders a little bit down and back. Arms are going to come straight out in front of the shoulders. We pull apart and we come back in with good control. And we do try to keep, think a little squeeze in your butt muscles. So we're not trying to push the heart and the chest and the belly forward. So we don't want to make this action happen with our hips. So keep a little bit of a squeeze in your butt muscles to keep that lower part of your body just strong and sturdy. 3 more, we'll lower the arms, take a moment of rest, and then we'll come right back into it. All right, lower your arms, take a second just to roll the shoulders, go for about 3 shrug and rolls of the shoulders. And then we're gonna come back up and do about 10 more. So lift back up to that shoulder height position. Keep your butt and your legs nice and sturdy. Beautiful. 2 more if you can. All right, lower your arms, take a second, roll, roll, roll the shoulders, and then we're just gonna do one last set of 8. So reducing the number of reps that we're gonna do. Bring it back up when you're ready, and then shoot for 8. And we go for just a nice slow controlled in and out. So we work with the resistance of the band to go out, and we work with the resistance of the band to come in. Last one here, nice job. All right, take a second, lower your arms, give them a shrug and a roll. Now we're gonna take our band, it's gonna come onto the ground, and you're gonna step, let's say step left foot into the band so it comes out on the pinky toe side, but then you're gonna re-grab with opposite hand. We're gonna go single leg deadlift with that sort of cross body maneuver, and I'm gonna turn a couple of different directions just to give a sense of how we want this to look. So we're gonna stagger the stance. If you've got it underneath your left foot, your right hand's going to hold on to the band. And then once you've got your way there, your other hand is going to touch the back of your thigh with a little bit of a firm squeeze. And then you're going to lift up and push your butt forward and feel the muscles in the back of your thigh. And they should feel firm as you push down into that band, pulling up with the opposite hand, and a nice hip hinge maneuver. And you're going to go for about 5 more here if you can. All right, now we're going to come back to this side in a minute, but unstep, step out of your loop so you can create that same thing to the other side. So step your right foot into the loop. Your left hand's going to reach over and across, so you get that cross body positioning, and then stagger your stance. And most of your weight is going to be in that standing leg, the leg that's standing on the band. And then we come up, but we want that free hand to just touch with a little bit of a squeeze. So squish your fingers into the back of your thigh, and you want to feel like the back of your thigh is firm. When you come up, push your butt forward. Your legs should feel firm as you bring your chest forward. So we keep that long hip hinge maneuver. Push strong into your foot. You've got it. Nice job. Go for one more on this side, and then we're going to go back to the other side, and we'll repeat the process. We're going to do 8 on one side, 8 on the other. So unstep out of your loop just so that you could step into it on the other side. Step your foot in. Grab that band off on that pinky toe side, stagger the stance. Hand can be on the back of the thigh now, or it can go to the hip, wherever you want it to be. If you've got the idea, if you can feel that work by touching your hand into the thigh and you're like, okay, yep, I feel firmness going on back there, that's great. That's all we want. Of course, we follow that in breath as we go back, and exhale as we push down into that foot to come up. Nice job. Last one on this side. All right, and then when you're ready, slowly and carefully step out of that loop just so you can take it to the other side. So we step onto the band. Opposite hand grabs the band with a good choke up on that band, so we've got a little bit of tension and resistance to work against. Stagger your stance, push your butt back, squeeze the glutes as you return, and then follow your breath for those last 7. Inhale as your butt goes back. Exhale as you come up. One more on this side. Excellent. Slowly step your feet out, just nice and careful. Now we're going to come back to upper body. So now we're going to go for a little bit of a wider grip, but we're going to hold that tension. So you're going to widen with the tension being held on the band. And now you're going to move your arms up and down to a comfortable range. Everybody's range might look a little different, and shoulders might be depending. So don't try to force it, especially don't try to force it by pushing your butt forward. Hold strong, keep tension on the band. Move the arms up and down at a slow, intentional pace. It's all about keeping that good tension on the band. Hey, Susie. Good morning, Susie. Susie, we need our TheraBand this morning, a rolled up towel or a blanket. And then when you stick around for part 2, you'll want your foam roller. All right, we're gonna lower the arms, take a second, do just whatever little rest and reset feels good. Give your fingers a little twinkle, give your shoulders a little shrug and a wiggle. Some of us are gonna stick with that maneuver, and then some of us can take it a little bit further by going up and over. But even there, when we go up and over, we don't wanna try to push. I'd rather you widen your stance than thrust your hips to make that work happen. So gonna go for about 8. You can go completely over if that feels like a comfortable maneuver for your shoulders, or just stay in that front position with that little bit of tension on the band. So we tug on the band the whole entire time. Nice job. Three more to go. All right, and then as you completely lower, woo, take a second, give that shrug and a wiggle. Now we're going back down to back to our feet or back to the lower part of our body. So now you're gonna take your band and you want it for the long foot, flat foot. So you're gonna take your band, put it long ways, and then step your foot lengthy onto the band. We wanna choke up so that we get some tension on the toes because we're doing the toe and extension press down. So we want to pull the band nice and firm so all the toes are in a lifted position. And then we press. So we keep the band held firm and we press the toes down. And you're just going to shoot for about 10 and then rest. For this one, rest will be in the up position. So the next time your toes are up, take a breath. And then repeat the process, 10 toe presses. Once you've done 10 toes are in the lift, hold there for just a second, take a breath. All right, and then 10 more presses with this side. Awesome. When you're ready, slow release, just so you can step off to step on with the other foot. So adjust your band, get it where you want it to be, make it nice and long. You want enough length on your band so you have a little bit of grip to hold on to, and a little bit of length of that band underneath your foot, and a good spread underneath your toes. So once you've stepped your foot on, then pull up on that band, get your toes up into extension. That's the start point of the work. Once you've got your way there, then we press the toes down and you're going to go for about 10 reps. All right, with the toes in extension, pause for a moment, take a breath. And then when you're ready, do it again, 10 presses of the toes. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. Can you still keep breathing in and out through your nose, but keep your jaw just a little bit soft? Nice. Next time they're in the lifted position, stay there, take a breath. All right, now last set of 10 presses of the toes. Nice. And then once you've done about 10 there, slowly, carefully release. And now last little bit of work in standing position is going to be a sumo squat with a bow and arrow pull. So we're going to go for a nice wide sumo squat stance. And as we squat down, you're going to pull back like you're pulling a bow and arrow, and then you're going to take it over to the other side. So nice deep squat, pull back, and there's like a slight rotation in thoracic spine as that elbow pulls back. And when we pull our bow and arrow, you want to think thumb to the ear or thumb to the cheek, so you get that good draw of that shoulder muscle. Come back in with good control. And I do a little bit of a flip of my thumb that kind of scoots under the band, so I get my thumb in a little bit of a hook in the front position, just so that my claw grip doesn't have to work too hard the whole entire time. For these last few, if you can, get a little bit of that focus of the breath going with the movement. Inhale as you lower down and exhale as you return. Two more to each side if you can. Okay, now next up, we're going to pick up the pace just a little bit with that bone density work. So take a second, move your shoulders, shrug them out, twinkle out your fingers, let go of any of that tension from holding onto that band. And now the first we're going to do, so you'll do 5 heel drops, and then you'll count to 5 and you'll jog on the spot. You'll do 5 heel drops, you'll count to 5 and you'll jog on the spot. Your count is going to be your count, and your intensity is going to be what feels good to do today. So find your nice even stance. You could take it into those 5 heel drops, and we want that good bone density so it's ugly. We catch a little impact and we do 5 consecutive, and then we take it into a jog. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you jog for your count to 5. And then you take it back to those heel drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you jog. And you're just going to go for a couple of rounds, and then we'll switch the work, but it'll all be a varied bone density work paired up with a little bit of high intensity work. One of the ones that we'll do is a side leg lift, and it's going to be like some single leg jumps. So when we get there, if you like to hold on to something that helps support the balance, so you can get that good speedy high intensity work without compromising your balance, you'll definitely position yourself to just hold on to a wall or hold on to a dresser. No right or wrong. I'd rather get you the work done so you don't have to fuss with the balance. All right, one more round. Now it's going to be 5 single leg hop, 5 single leg hop, 5 squats. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squat it out. 1, 2, 3. The power push is the thing. And then once you've done about 5 squats, back to your hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. You can hold onto a wall or a dresser or a chair. Give yourself that support you need. And then we squat. And the push up is where it's at. Focus on that breath. Use your exhale. You've got it. And then right back to your hops. All right, one more set through. Now we take it back to heel drops. So back to those 5 consecutive heel drops. But this time we're jogging it backwards and we're jogging it forward. So you're going to go for 5 jogs or 5 passes across your mat with as much intensity as feels good to you. Your breath is going to come up a little bit. And then once you've done about 5 passes, back to those heel drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. Last one through. Go for those 5 heel drops. Finish that last 5 pass. Jog it out. Nice work. Breath should be up just a little bit. Body should feel a little bit warmer. If you're in Arizona, pace yourself. All right, now we're bringing it back. Single leg hop, catch your breath for a second, but then you're gonna do 5 side leg lifts. So now you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that leg you just jumped on. 5. And then switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 leg lifts. But you might hold on to a wall just to give you that balance and support. I want you to feel the muscles working. And then you can go into those hops, hold on to the wall for the lifts. It pairs up nicely to add that high intensity work with that bone density. So we stimulate the bony structure and then we get those supportive muscles to kick on. We're gonna go one more set through. So even yourself out. Nice job. All right, now just to catch your breath before we come down, take a slow walk forward and back. Just get your breath coming back in and out through your nose best you can. Give your nervous system just a moment of time. When we come down, we're gonna do back to a little bit of upper body strength with a little bit of back extension. So it's gonna be a knee down push-up position. It's gonna be laddering push-ups. So the first one, you'll just go completely down, back extension, you'll come back up. And then the second one, you go push up to come down, back extension, you'll come back up. The next one, you do push up to come down. So you're just gonna ladder your count when you're ready. When we come down, nice wide stance, fingertips will be turned slightly in for our position today. So find your knee down plank position. Walk your hands out just a little bit wider towards the edges of your mat. When we do our push-up, let's think head forward. So you're gonna bend your elbows, head's gonna come forward, come all the way down onto your belly. 1 back extension, arms in T position, lift up, hands return, push yourself back up. Now 2 push-ups. Head comes forward, push up, head comes forward, go all the way down. 1 back extension, arms lift, arms return, push your way back up. Now 3 push-ups. 1, 2, the third to take you all the way down. Arms come out, back extension, hands return, push your way back up. Now go for 4. The 4th one's gonna take you down. Arms come out, back extension, come back in, push your way back up. Beautiful, 5 push-ups. Fifth one's gonna take you down. Back extension, stay low, come into a Sphinx-like position. Now we're gonna go Sphinx rolling through to a star plank or side plank position, but we're gonna go with a little variation of playfulness with the arms. So in your Sphinx with your elbows underneath your shoulders, flip so your palms are facing up. Now you're gonna roll, and as you roll, your hands are gonna kind of swing and pivot with you. So you'll roll onto your side, lift up into that star plank with that low arm palm facing up. You'll return through center and take it over to the other side. Lift up into that star plank position, lower with control, come through center, through that Sphinx-like position, palms adjust, they're facing up. Pivot your elbow, lift up into that star plank, lower down, slow return through center. And it's just a playful position with the arms and the elbows to offer a variation. For some of us, this is going to feel just a touch better. It's going to feel a little bit more supportive. It's going to feel like it sort of matches the strength and the coordination of your elbows and your shoulders. If you get here though, if it's bothersome to your elbows or shoulders, leave it off. Go for the traditional shape that you know you like. Go for one more time through. Nice. Now we're going to spin it around so we're sitting onto our butt. So take your time. You're going to spin everything around. We're going to take our rolled up towel now, and it's going to come behind us. And we're going to do just 5 roll downs with, or like think halfway roll down. All we want to do is just get that soft tool behind us so that we can feel the touch points of our spine as we go. So you're going to feel your low back connect. You're going to feel that mid back connect. You're going to look for that sticky spot. For me, it's right about here. And then you're just going to slowly, like you're imprinting your spine in reverse, come back up, restack your spine, and then do it again. Roll back, touch point along the spine. Look for that sticky spot, that's the spot where it's hardest for you to have good control. Come back up like you're imprinting your spine in reverse, and then do it again. Roll down nice and slow. Pause in that sticky spot just for a moment, and then roll your way back up. Beautiful. 2 more if you can. All right, now this time as you come up, take your towel or your rolled up tool that you've got, bring it around so it's going to come underneath your feet. So now we're just going to move it up so that it will come underneath your feet. Feet are going to hop up onto that roll, and then you come down to hip bridge position. Walk your feet out a little bit so your feet are centered on your roll. Feet are a little bit wide. Arms are going to come up in front of the chest. You're going to lift your butt up so you're in your hover position. So you could slide one flat palm underneath your butt. That's your start position. And then you're going to take it with the breath. As you exhale, lift up your butt and squeeze. And then as you inhale, return just to that hover point. You could still slide one flat palm underneath your butt. Exhale to lift, squeeze your butt muscles. Inhale, come back down to that hover point. Two more if you can. On the next inhale, your butt's going to lower all the way down to the ground. Your legs are going to float up into that reverse tabletop position. Arms are going to come down. Curl up your head, neck, and chest. Pump your arms. But this time, if you tend to, like I do, go like furious pump of the arms, go slow, controlled pump of the arms. Inhale, count to 5. Exhale through your mouth. Push it out, count to 5. Inhale through your nose, count to 5. Exhale. Inhale, count to 5. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, count to 5. Exhale. Last set. Lower your chest and your chin. Tuck your knees into your chest. Take a little stretch to the glutes and the low back. Take a nice big breath. All right, we're coming back up to that curled up position, but right knee is going to come into the chest. Left leg is going to stretch out nice and long. Inhale as you switch. Exhale as you squeeze that knee in. Inhale, switch. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, switch. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, switch. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, switch. Stretch that leg nice and long. Reach through the toe. Inhale, switch. Exhale, squeeze. Stretch that leg nice and long. One more time through. Nice. And then both knees come back in. Lower your head, neck, and chest. Once your head and your chest are down, hang on to your right knee. Let your left leg go nice and long. Take a breath. Switch sides. Bring your left knee into your chest. Let your right leg go nice and long. Beautiful. Both legs are going to go nice and long. A soft roll up or roll off to one side to come up to a seat. So either use your exhalation and slowly, softly roll your way up, or just come up in any way that makes good sense, but with your legs out in front of you, but a little bit behind you. Lift up nice and tall through your chest. Take a nice big think up and over. So we lift upward to reach towards the feet. It does not matter if you can touch your feet. We just reach towards them. And then once you found your way there, hang out for a second. Take a nice big breath. Crisscross applesauce or any seat that feels comfortable, just to take a little stretch to the shoulder. So you're just going to bring one arm across the chest, catch hold of the back of the arm, tuck your shoulder down just a little bit, and then tuck your chin down towards your chest. The arm that's in front, now tuck it behind or to the side. So go for where your shoulder goes comfortably. Tuck it behind you or tuck it to the side, and then drop your ear away from that shoulder and take a breath. Nice. Lift your head up. Take it to the other side. Arm comes across the chest. Tuck the shoulder down. Once you've got the shoulder tucked down, tuck chin to chest. Lift your chin, release your arm, either fingertip to the ground or tuck your hand behind, and then drop your ear away from that shoulder and take a nice big breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, slow release, take a second, shrug, shrug, shrug your shoulders, grab your foam roller if you're sticking around, and we are going to start right at the Achilles tendon. So if you grab your foam roller, we're just coming right back to a seated position. So once you've got your roller, kick those ankles right up and over the roller, and just a little windshield wiper action with the feet. And all we're looking here for is just that first initial creation of like a sense of warmth. And you can almost imagine that the warmth is just purely coming from the friction of the skin rolling across the little texture of your foam roller. One more little windshield wiper, and then toes are going to turn out. So you're going to let your knees and your toes turn out, and you're going to stay in that turned out position, and then point and flex your feet. And all this stuff that we do down at the feet, take the time to notice, are you holding tension in your jaw? If you're like me, if you have a tendency to put a little tension in your jaw and you don't even notice it until somebody says, hey, loosen your jaw, and you're like, oh, yeah, I was there the whole time. When we flip around to long spine, I'll talk you through a jaw release, but it does require you sticking your fingers into your mouth. So if you're like, I got to go wash my hands, and I'll talk you through it, and then maybe you can do it after you've washed your hands. So just know I'll talk you through it, but we're not going to hold it the whole time just because it requires you putting your fingers in your mouth the whole time. All right, take one more point and flex of the feet, and then just take that foam roller for a walk. Walk it up the backs of your calf muscles, and then walk it back down towards your ankles. All right, now we're going to do that roll where we get the blade edges of the feet and our legs are in butterfly position. But if it's like better for you to do one at a time, I'll try to pace it so that you could adjust it for like the one at a time. If it feels comfortable enough, come down elbows and forearms, and then your feet are going to hop up onto the foam roller like your legs are in a butterfly position, but the blade edges of your feet are connected to the roller. And then you're just going to softly roll this butterfly in and out. So the heels squeeze in a little bit closer to your bum, and then they move a little bit away, and you're just rolling that blade edge of the foot. Take your time, allow for just a little bit of slowness. So that blade edge of the foot conversation, when we're talking about like fascia, nerve endings, nervous system, and that outer edge point is a balance point for us. So we want it to feel fleshy. We want it to feel alive. We want there to be blood flow. We want there to be suppleness to the outer edges of our foot, similar to our heel, because it helps us hold good balance in our standing positions. It helps us push off the ground with force. It helps shock absorb, but we want those places that do that work to stay supple and long-term with us. All right, so if you would just opted to do a one-sided maneuver, switch, get the other side going on as well. One more good roll in and out, and then we're going to prop ourselves back up and tuck that foam roller so it comes underneath the backs of our thighs. We're just going to get a firm hold, and you're just going to windshield wiper your knees a little side to side. It wants to feel like the backs of your thighs are just kind of smushing into the foam roller, and then you're just getting a little pivot maneuver, so your thigh is just kind of rocking across that foam roller. Rhythm is nice for our fascia. Our fascia likes a rhythmic movement. It likes vibration. It likes that humming, that bouncing, all of that good stuff is going to be nice for our fascia. When we do myofascial release, the myo is the muscle, the fascia is the stuff that's in between or holds our muscles in the shape. And the fascia actually has a bit more conversation brain body. The muscle can be just a little bit dense sometimes. So when we're doing some of this nice stuff, it's about talking to the fascia, but fascia wants gentleness and collaboration. It will not be forced into doing anything it doesn't want to do. All right, take one more little wiggle wobble across the backs of those thighs, pop your butt up onto the roller. We're just going to take a few quick rolls across the glutes. Take your time as you find your way up and onto that roller, and then slow roll your way from left to right. The next time you roll over to the right, stay there and take a couple of soft rolls up and down. One more good slow roll up and down there. And then when you're ready, take it over to the other side, roll yourself across, and then stay there, roll a little up and down. Beautiful. One more good roll up and down. And then as you come back to center, you're just going to pop your butt up in front of the roller, but snug it up nice and close, and then clip your elbows over the roller. So you're just kind of lean back and get a little bit of like, think like at that low end of the sacrum kind of pressing against the roller, and then give your knees just a little gentle windshield wiper. We're going to start to kind of like side to side roll it. And as you go along, the foam roller will most likely kind of move up occasionally towards your shoulders, and then we'll bring it back down. So you're just going to kind of lean into the roller. I start with my elbows just to hold it in a little bit of place. Bigger windshield wipers, but think of it more like as if you're trying to roll your low back across that roller, just a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And then you're going to find that low edge of your ribs. And now you're going to go just a little bit further, a little bit left to the right. And slowly you're going to feel that roller just kind of inching its way up towards your shoulders. So you're going to let it inch up, or you're going to let your butt inch down. And then you're just going to roll across. And then once you make it up to about armpits or shoulder heads, when you feel like you've made your way all the way up, take a second, hoist yourself up, move that roller back down to that low back area, clip your elbows, and then repeat the process. Little windshield wiper action, a little low back action, a little low end of the rib cage action, and then slowly we rock it side to side as we let the foam roller move up or let the butt creep down. And then once you've made it up to about armpits or about shoulder heads, everybody's going to feel a little bit different about where they want to go as far as that top end point goes. Repeat the process one more time. Bring that foam roller down, get it nice and snugged up against that sacrum. Elbows are going to clip over, get that light windshield wiper action to start. And then find that low back rock, low end of the ribs. Upper middle back. Finding your way up towards those armpits, maybe creeping just a little bit higher up towards that line of the shoulder heads. And then once you found your way up, once you're in a position that it feels good, you're going to pick up your butt and you're going to slow roll up and down. And then once you've got that slow roll up and down maneuver going on, especially if it feels better to support the head, put your hands underneath your head or let your arms kind of fly along with you. Go where it feels good. I like to support the head some days. Take one more good roll up and down, and then we're going to go open book twist with the foam roller support underneath the leg. So bring yourself up and off in a way that makes good sense. I'm going to say pass the roller over to the right side, just that's where I'll cue from, but you can position it on your left if you prefer to start on the left. There's no right or wrong, but you will have the foam roller off to one side, and then that top upper leg is going to lay across that foam roller in a supported position. You can use your bottom hand to anchor that hand down, and then for our open book twist, we take that top arm, we touch the ground in front of us, and as we exhale, open up into a twisted position. Inhale to come back in and touch. Exhale to open up. Inhale, come in and touch. Exhale, open up, stay there, let the shoulder get heavy, let your head turn towards that open hand and take a nice big breath. Before you release the twist, keep your arm out in that wide position. Flip your palm facing up, turn your head away from the palm. Flip your palm facing down, turn your head towards the arm. Flip your palm facing up, turn your head away. Flip your palm facing down, turn your head towards the hand. One more time. Flip the palm facing up, turn your head away. Keeping in mind, this is just fun rotational movement, so you can't get it wrong. Flip the palm facing down, turn the head towards, and then release back to that neutral position, and we're taking it over to the other side. So whether you roll across your back, flip yourself around, get yourself there in a way that makes good sense. But now we're over on the left, right leg is on top of the roller, left hand holds that leg in place, and the right hand does the work. Right hand touches the ground in front of you. And then as you exhale, open up into your twisted position. Inhale to come in. Exhale to open. Inhale, come in. Exhale, open, stay there, take a breath. One more breath, and then we take that novel rotational movement. So you're going to flip your palm down, turn your head away, and then flip your palm up and turn your head in. Flip palm down, turn your head away. And again, there's no right or wrong. We're just adding some novel movement, a little touch of rotation because the fascia likes that. And then we're just adding that head turn to get a little bit extended from the shoulder up into the neck and the cervical spine. Go for 2 more if you can. Nice. And then when you're ready, slow roll onto your back and then just pause on your back in neutral position. So knees bent, spine long and straight, or as straight as your spine likes to go. And then just give your spine and your nervous system a second in this neutral just to take a breath. We're going to go long spine on the foam roller. So when you feel ready for it, bring yourself up comfortably and then reset your foam roller so it comes length of the spine. So we want tailbone on one end and the head supported on the other. As you come down, take your time, get comfortable. We want sturdy legs. Scoot your butt around, scoot your body around, get your costume all set up. Arms are going to open right out into that wide T position with the palm facing up. So open your arms out nice and wide, lengthen your neck, get your legs nice and sturdy. And then all you're going to do here is a little low end of the rib cage work. So you're going to try to keep your arms connected to the ground. So that might be an A shape. Go where your arms go comfortably. You're going to puff up the bottom of your ribs as if you're trying to pick up the back end of your ribs from the foam roller. And then you're going to press or imprint the back of your rib cage into the foam roller. Lift your chest, puff up the ribs, press the back of your rib cage into the foam roller. Puff up your chest, lift the back end of your ribs. Press the end of your rib cage down into the roller. Now keep it there if you can. Arms are going to start to take a little snow angel action, gently lifting up and down. Start with a slow range of motion where you feel comfortable going and the movement feels fluid, and allow it to slowly increase. But the whole time we go, you're going to keep just a little bit of that focus and awareness on that low end of the rib cage connected to your foam roller. So for me, a lot of times I tell myself, rib cage press down as my arms move up. So I have this little conversation so that I know what I want to have happen. I know I want my ribs to stay steady and neutral, and I want my shoulders to be able to move in a comfortable range. All right, one more up and down with the snow angel arms, and then arms are going to come right up in front of the chest, and then take the scapular shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders around, down, and back. And then take those scapular shoulder rolls and go the other way. All right, one more scapular shoulder roll, and then arms come back out to T position. And here's I'm going to just talk you through it. So if you have a tendency to tense your jaw, if you tend towards tightness in the jaw or clenching of the teeth, when you want that jaw release, but you might choose to wash your hands before you go, you can do it for about 2 to 3 minutes. So this is why I'm just going to walk you through it. So I just want you to be comfortable on your mat. It's a 2-for-1 special. You're doing nothing. You're just letting your arms open wide and your breath come in and out. If you wanted to do that jaw release, you would take your, let's say, index finger, and you would trace the bottom line of your teeth to the back edge of your molars where you feel the gums into the back of your mouth. And right at the back of your molars, at the low molars, you'll feel these little strings. And those little strings reach up to the top molars. So you slide your finger back along the molars to the back edge of your mouth where you feel the gums, and then you feel for the little strings, and the strings go up towards the top teeth. And those strings, you would push your finger into those strings, and you can either do movement, so you could just wiggle your finger up and down as you press into that muscle, or you can just hold with a steady pressure for about 2 minutes, and then you would repeat the process on the other side. So you'd find your low molars, you'd slide your index finger to the back end of your mouth where you feel your gums. You feel with your fingers for the little strings that run up to the top teeth. That's the muscle that you'll hold and press into, and then you'd either press and wiggle the finger up and down or press and hold for about 2 minutes. So just so you know, if you're like, I do want to release my jaw, but you might want to just take the time because you can't talk while you do it. And I like this low position on the foam roller because it keeps all the saliva contained, because it is an open mouth position, and you do want to breathe in and out through your nose if you go there. So just know, if you want that jaw release, now you know how to do it. All right, slowly you're going to roll off your foam roller, roll off to the side. We're going to keep it in a long position, but now it's just going to kind of come down between our legs. We're going to lift our butt back up, and we're going to get our sacrum onto the roller. So once you've got your roller kind of down between your legs, you're going to lift your butt up, and you're going to slide the tail end of your roller so that it touches base with your tailbone. You're going to walk your feet out just a little bit wide. You're going to take your hands and you're going to make them into fists. And your fists are going to rest right on those front protruding hip bones, or think front pockets of your jeans. And you're going to push lightly with your fists, as if you're trying to get your hip bones to kind of melt over your foam roller. Bony structure typically does not move. We just want to put that light feeling of weight of our hands onto the front hip bones. So the foam roller is lined up with your tailbone. It's just touching your sacrum. The flesh of your tush is kind of off the edges of the foam roller. Your hands are in fists. They're in the front pockets of your jeans, and you're just letting them rest for a second. If you get here and you're like, that's uncomfortable, I don't like it, leave it off. If you get here and it feels good, then you add just a little of rocking motion with the fists. So let's say push into the knuckles, out to the heels of the hands. Push into the knuckles, out to the heels, as if you're just trying to create that rolling and melting sensation by using that gentle pressure of your hands. It's not extreme. We're not genuinely trying to move the bony structure. We're just allowing this idea of soft heaviness into the bony structure, to let the sacrum have a little bit of time, to let the hip flexors have a little time, to create a little feeling of open expansiveness through the front of the hips, through the front pockets of the jeans. Go for one more roll and press if you're rolling and pressing those hands. And then let everything stop for a moment. Just let your hips hang heavy on the roller. Let your arms come out nice and wide. Reduce as much effort as you can. Think soft abdomen, soft thighs as much as you can, soft front pockets of the jeans, soft arms, soft chest, soft armpits. Two more cycles of breath. All right, now we're going to flip that foam roller. It's going to come underneath our hips, underneath our butt. So think supported hip bridge position. However you want to get your foam roller there, whether it's just a nice little lift, swivel and maneuver that foam roller so it can just kind of pivot out, slide back in underneath your butt. So now you're in that soft supported hip bridge position. Walk your feet in a little bit closer so they're about hip width distance apart. Slide your right leg down to the end of your mat with a flex in your foot. Lift that leg up into a hover position, and then up an inch, down an inch. So we opened up through the front pockets of the jeans. We created a little bit of space, and now we're just going to bring a little bit of muscle work back in just to create that nice strength through the front pockets, those places that we tend to shorten a little bit when we're sitting in our chairs and sitting in our cars. So now we're just going to put a little bit of strength back into that space that we created. Go for about one more set. And then when you're ready, set that leg down to bent knee position, and we'll switch the work to the other side. Left leg's going to slide long, flex the foot, lift it up into a hover position, and then we go up an inch, down an inch. And if you put your hands on the front pockets of your jeans, you should feel like there's a little bit of action happening. Top of the thigh, right around the inside of that hip bone. You should feel some muscle action or contraction going on there. Go for about one more set here. And then we're going to go both legs nice and long, pandiculate or good morning stretch. So send that leg down to the ground, send your other leg out to meet, flex both feet, stretch your arms up above your head, and then we pandiculate. We inhale, yawning, stiffening stretch, push through your heels, stretch through the fingers. And then as you exhale, invite a little softness in, and then do it again. Pandiculate, press through the heels, spread your fingers, take that nice yawning breath. Exhale, invite some softness in. One more time. Push through your heels, spread your fingers, take that nice inhalation, and we stretch all the way to the edges of the skin. And then exhale, invite that softness back in. Slowly and mindfully step your feet in nice and slow. Push into your feet, lift your hips up. We're going to lower one vertebrae at a time. So as you move that foam roller out from underneath your butt, keep your butt in a hover. Lower your upper back, your middle back, your low back. Let your hips touch down. Take a second there. Just give your nervous system a second. Give your back a second. Use your hands and your arms. Support yourself. Come up to a seated position. And then once you come to that supported position, you're going to put your butt back up onto the roller and then come back to rolling across the glutes. So once you've got your butt onto the roller, take it for that nice roll from side to side. One more roll from side to side, and then we're going to go low back side body. So you're just going to pop your butt up over in front of the roller. We roll off to one side. Use your elbows, use your forearms. So we're rolling that low back area, but we're a little off sides. Think of this as just working that outer edge of the diamond of your thoracolumbar fascia. One more nice roll up and down there. And then when you're ready, take it over to the other side, finding that low back side body area. Use your elbow and forearm, use your legs to help support the roll. One more good roll up and down there. And then when you're ready, come back to center. We're going to re-grab that foam roller and pop it up over our shins. Soft bend in the knees with the lymphatic drag. So you're going to push in at the ankles or shoelaces. Drag it up towards your knees. Slow release. Bring it back down. Push in. Drag it up. Find the knees. Soft release. One more time. Push in. Drag up. And now we're going to go for a little bit of a drag over the knees. But I want you to think top of the calf down to the thigh, similar to when we do that pinch and then we drag the thumb. So use the foam roller strategically. Don't jam it into your kneecaps. Be mindful about where you go, but push just barely into that top calf of the knee and then drag it to the thigh, and go for about 3 drags from the calf to the thigh. All right, and then once you've done about 3 drags at the calf to the thigh, let your legs lengthen just a touch, drag it over the thighs. So we're pulling that lymph upward. We want to drag it up to, think lymph channels in the groin, lymph channels in the belly. And then once you've done a few drags of the thighs, take it to the abdomen and drag across the abdomen. Beautiful. One more drag across the abdomen and then bring it into center. Put that foam roll off to the side, put a little soft bend in the knees, just a soft little squishy fold towards your feet, just to kind of squish and move any of that lymph that you just dragged up, and then bring yourself up slowly. We're gonna come to forward position to roll our way up to standing. So step your feet in any way that makes good sense. Come forward, lift your butt up, keep a good bend in the knees, pull the abdominal muscles in and roll your way up. Think one vertebrae at a time, and then just right back to where we started. Take a couple of good little bounces, let your body bounce. Let your nervous system have that little etch-a-sketch, shake it out, clear the screen. Notice your breath. Notice how your body feels. And you are done. Nice work today. You guys are amazing.